Good morning. It is Tuesday morning, and this is the morning break. For those of you, by the way, yesterday that were laughing at me, and I got several text messages, mostly from friends, obviously, that I had cut off the name morning break and just called it the break. Yes. If you noticed, I did come back strong today. Use the whole name, the morning break. I'm Rob Patz. Good to have you here, by the way. Hey, did you check out football last night? 2 games. Here's my thing on this, okay? If you're a football fan, it's great. I like it. Monday night. I don't know. It seems, and I know it's only during the early part of the season. I'm not as big a fan, especially with, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I got to give you another Seattle Mariners update. M's win again last night, 10-3 in Toronto. They are up 2-0. Now, it's too early to get excited. Definitely too early to get too excited. If you're a fan of any Washington sport, you realize what I'm talking about when I tell you that even when things look sure, they can sometimes fall into complete and utter decay. That could still happen, but the Mariners up 2-0, 2-0. American League champions sounds really awesome. World Series would be the first time for them in their history. And I've followed the Seattle Mariners since 1979. So it's been a long time. I was a little kid. My dad was a huge fan, ended up having a chance where I got to be a ticket holder for a while and enjoyed going to all those games. Was actually there the night they won their 116th game in 2001. So been a Mariner fan for a long time. Happy for them. This is a great team. And you've got to just realize that they're just kind of fun to watch. And they're kind of that team that you go, yeah, I got to cheer for them. Football last night was good. Both games were interesting. Didn't really get a chance to watch much of them because of other things. And of course, when you're married, you have life outside of just watching sports. When you're single, like I was for so long, that was all you did. You watch sports at night. Hey, listen, a couple of things going on today and things that are coming up. And one of the things I want to talk about that's coming up the first Sunday of November. And it's something really super important, and your church needs to get involved. The first Sunday in November is Pray for Those Who Are Suffering for Their Faith. There are so many people around the world that are suffering for their faith. And we have done this, and they actually started doing this. It depends on which historian that you look at, but they said they've been doing this for over 1,600 years. Now, I don't have any proof of that. I just went through about 3 different historians that were online, and they trace it back somewhere in that neighborhood, that the first Sunday in November, they have been praying for those that are suffering for their faith. And it is incredible thing to do. If you have friends or family that are missionaries, you realize how incredibly hard some of this stuff is. We look at it here in the United States and we go, it's easy being a Christian. There's every once in a while somebody may, say something snide to you or something like that. But in the real world, outside the United States, being a Christian sometimes means that you suffer for your faith. And so this coming first Sunday in November is the Sunday to do that. Encourage your church to do this. By the way, also big news, diplomatic news. Incredible deal yesterday, incredible history. And you watched as the hostages were released and the peace deal in place. An incredible time and something that I don't think many people, even in the political world, believe was possible. And congratulations to everybody involved and a ton of people that worked on that. And thankful for the families who got their loved ones back. 20 of them released yesterday, 20 hostages. Hey, listen, one other thing, of course, if you follow Kristen and I, one of the things we love to do is travel. And I love to travel because I love to relax. That's kind of my thing. I love to go out. I love to relax. My vacations are very calm. I like to go to a museum. We were in Portland, Maine Went to a great museum there. Super, super fun. And that's kind of the stuff I like to do. 2026. Do you know what the trend is? The trend. Just wait a second. The trend is called skillcations, not vacations, but skillcations. Hilton is leading this, and I'm a Hilton. I forget what I am. My status is this year. Never mind. But I am part of this, but I cannot get on board with skillcations where you go to learn a skill. Yes, I love to better myself, but I don't want to do that. I want to go sit by the pool. I want to, I want to maybe play some golf. That's what I call a skillcation, not the skill of learning something new. I can do that when I'm home. Come on, people. Let's work on that. That's one of those things. I don't know why that's trending. It is though, and kind of interesting. Hey, listen, I got my coffee here. It is the morning break. Thanks to the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee. If you have not gone and ordered, you should. If you haven't experienced short roasted coffee blends, these are short runs. You need to do it. And in fact, my encouragement to you is what my wife did for me, and that is order the variety pack. It's 4 different coffees. I get the whole bean coffee. Reason being is because I like to feel, I like to feel like I am actually accomplishing something. So I can grind my coffee in the morning, make my coffee, and I feel like I've been a part of it. It is the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee. They are a sponsor of Abundant TV along with the Morning Break with Rob Patz. And go over to, it's just 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order. We appreciate it. Other side of the break, my new friend, Nate Sims, is going to be with us. We're going to talk about what he is doing, his ministry, everything going on. We'll do that after this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Morning Break.
Behind every precious life, there was a choice. Behind every family moment, behind every special memory, there was a choice. A life of joy, a life that is beautifully and wonderfully made. At 7 Weeks Coffee, we are funding the pro-life movement, one cup at a time. Will you let your coffee serve a greater purpose?
Hey, check out the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee, 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order and experience small batch, small roast coffee. It is incredible. Trust me, you need to do it. I am super excited about this guest. Nate Sims is a new friend, and man, I am so good to meet you. We are such new friends that like first time we met was like right before the break this morning. Nate, introduce yourself to everybody.
Well, I'm Nate Simmons. I'm from Pennsylvania, and I'm a Swiss Army knife, man. I'm a chaplain in the military. I'm a missionary, evangelist, outreach developer with Crew, and I am a busy guy, just like you are, Rob. It's great to meet you, and just excited to be on your show.
So tell everybody a little bit about you've got some neat things that you're doing. And in fact, you've got one tonight.
Mhm.
And I accidentally called it Open Table, which by the way is an app. And it's not called that, ladies and gentlemen. So don't go searching for that because you'll get an app and you'll reserve you'll reserve a reservation somewhere for your favorite restaurant. But tell everybody a little bit about what it is, and it's not Open Table.
Yeah, so Table Talk is an outreach that God put on my heart to develop. Okay, now this kind of happened, as God was just urging my heart, as people are so divided in our country, and I saw that the Christians were so just on fire to share political opinions, and I'm like, well, what about Jesus? Like Jesus is our center. And so, how can we activate more Christians to live missionally? So, I create a space. I started off in a brewery to have Christians invite non Christians to the table to have authentic discussions about life topics that always connect to the gospel. So, it happens every month. And we have introverts, extroverts sending out text messages, invitations, and a lot of non-believers have come to Christ through these types of conversations, and it's just been amazing. Some of the topics are like hypocrisy, fear. Tonight I'm doing one on politics, actually. A little divisive there, but I'm gonna bring common ground into it. But just all different kinds of topics, um, and it's a lot of fun.
I love that. What is, because you talked about hypocrisy being one of them. What
Mhm.
is one topic like when you do these events? What is the,
Yeah.
these table talk events? What is the biggest theme that you've seen over the time you've been doing them? What is the one topic that, a non-believer comes, sits down, stares you in the eye, which by the way, I totally can see you as a military guy because you'd scare me. I wouldn't say anything. I'd be like, yes, sir. Anything you want, sir. I'm good with whatever that is that you believe. But no, what is the one topic though when people do come and sit down with you that you it's kind of a common thread with non-believers.
I think self-worth is a big one. I think we seek our identity in our careers, our relationships, and all these other things that can crumble around us. And so I think a really important part is hosting these discussions is kind of finding that friction point in our lives. Where is the pain coming from, right? And every topic relates to the gospel. I believe Jesus experienced everything in this life, so the gospel shines through in every situation. So I would say pain and suffering, sense of loss, and the fact that Jesus is with them and experienced it is huge when you have these conversations.
I love that. I think that we live unfortunately in a time where we're looking less for commonality and we're
Hmm.
looking more and I don't know, maybe you don't experience this, but I look at it is everybody's looking for an identity when really their identity should come from their faith, but we struggle as a society where they're looking for something to hang their identity off of. I think I think my buddy froze. I think he's I think we lost Nate for a second. Hopefully Nate comes back. He is gone and now he's back.
All right, I'm back. I'm so
I
sorry.
That's
I don't know.
okay. Man, and it was like one of my Walter Cronkite moments. I had the best question. Dude, what'd you do to me?
Line it up.
Uh,
What was it again? I'm so sorry.
No, I can't even really totally remember, which is usually what happens with me. But I think we live in a time where people are searching for an identity
Mhm.
and they're looking for a commonality. And unfortunately, we people struggle, and I think that's where faith needs to be more of a center. I paraphrase in there what I said before, but are
Yeah.
you seeing that or that people are really searching for a commonality with other people and that's why they're coming and hanging out at table talk?
Yeah, I think people crave community, right? So if I create a space with conversational guidelines, like, hey, it's okay to disagree. We're going to do that, but we're going to be nice about it, right? And we want diverse opinions. It's amazing to see people come together and go, "Oh, really? You too, right? Like you're a you know you, you had suffering and loss there." So like I had a mom the other day, just she struggled with the fact that she has to give up their foster child back to a drug mom, and she was just upset and crying and upset. And then people just we didn't focus on her like she felt loved, and after the conversation it was great. But people have so many common points in life, probably far more than what divide us. And it's incredible. Like I had a Democrat and Republican come out, and they kind of knew each other a little bit from a distance, but after sitting at the table, they actually respected one another and said, "I didn't want to meet you, but I'm glad I did meet you," and that's fun.
So besides the table talk stuff that you're
Mhm,
doing, tell
mhm.
everybody what else Nate is involved in.
Well, I'm an evangelist that I believe that there's a problem with evangelism in the church, and so I think the evangelist model is kind of broken. Evangelism is a checkbox mentality. I'm a strong believer in mentorship. As an experienced evangelist, I believe that my role for the church is to train all Christians to embrace to help them embrace missional living. I believe all Christians are to be evangelistic, but everybody's unique, and so a customized evangelism approach. I can't tell you how to be me. I can't tell you how to be Rob. Rob is Rob. Okay, nobody else can be Rob. So, can I coach you to help you be more effective? So right now, I'm working with a higher up level, dare I say it, Disney employee that says, "Hey, how do I be missional in this space?" And so mentoring, coaching, Zoom, just go on Zoom and prayer and training and accountability yields a lot of fruit with the Holy Spirit behind everything. So I believe in mentoring people. So that's my next phase is I want to run with Christians who want to share the gospel. And if you don't, okay. But I want to run with people who do.
See, and I think this is something that we did not plan any of this, but it's one of the big areas that I don't care how old you are or how young you are, you need mentors.
Mhm.
I have a couple of guys that mentor me on a regular basis, and people go, "Well, at your age," and I'm like, "Well, thank you. I'm not really that old," but I think that is one big thing missing is
Mhm.
mentorship. I don't know if we lost it somewhere along the way or what happened, but is people really sewing into other people through mentorship?
Yeah, and let's be honest, like pastors are so busy. They are so busy. They got so much on their plate for them to mentor and try to train people how to share the gospel. A lot of times they even struggle to get out there to do it. So as an evangelist, as someone called to do it, man, I want to work with people who want to do this and tell them, no, God has wired you to be evangelistic in a beautiful way that does not it's no book is going to be written to you as an individual because you're uniquely made. So how can we help you do that? If you're an introvert, extrovert, however you're wired, man, you have all like different experiences. How do you bring that out for gospel conversations? So it's just I find it to be so much easier for people.
So I have a question for you because you said something that was kind of that hit a chord with me. So let's say you're an introvert.
Mhm.
Neither of us are, by the way, but I'm just saying, let's say
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
us was. Uh, what what would you recommend to them that they want to share the gospel? It's on their heart to do that. What are some steps they can take to gain some confidence to share the gospel?
Well, I think it's this. I'll give you one really big step. I ask questions 90% of the conversation. I'm not trying to sit there and say, hey, your shirt is blue, my shirt is blue, the sky is blue, therefore God must put us together here to have this conversation. So let's dive right. I'm not going to be like that awkward, weird, the awkwardness thing. You can be missional where God has wired you. Be fishers of men, okay? Think about your workplace as a fishing hole. Wherever you work, learn, eat, play, your oikos. Ask those people questions. People love that. And I'll give you one tip that makes it very simple, okay? I kind of made this up whatever, but I call it reverse evangelism. I'm going to ask you about your faith background. I'm just going to say, hey, tell me about your upbringing. What is your faith background? What did that look like? And they start telling you. And then I'm going to sit there and say, okay, what would it look like for me to be a part of that faith? How can I join your faith or whatever you grew up into, whatever you believe now? What does that look like? So I'm asking them to convert me. And 9 times out of 10, they go, I have no idea. Or they'll just tell you, you just got to read your Bible more. You got to do this more. I say, okay. And then they say, well, what do you think? And I say, well, I'm glad you asked. And boom, I just share the gospel. Stuff that's that simple, but asking questions. I think every human being wants to feel relevant and heard and listened to. So questions are just so important.
I love that, and I think I don't know if it all ties into the communication. I think people are communicating less verbally and more through text. And I can be bad with that. But I think that we need to teach people how to verbally share the gospel because,
Mhm,
people that are listening and tell me, like, because you've been doing this a while now, what is the
mhm.
biggest challenge you've seen with table talk? What is the one thing that you go, man, that's tough? What is one part that's been a challenge?
There's only one thing that's really difficult about table talk. I mean, everything else is pretty simple. You have non-believers inviting non-believers, which is very unique, and then you have Christians inviting non-believers. But the most difficult thing is initiative. If you don't own table talk as an outreach, as your monthly outreach, you are going to struggle because you are basically pastoring, creating a community outside the church, and hopefully sharing the gospel and discipling them into the church. But that takes intentionality to remind Christians to invite people, to think about people's next step. Do they need to have a coffee with me and talk about faith on a deeper level? Do they need to go to church? So you're really pastoring people, kind of. So this is an outreach that just is, if you're not intentional, it'll probably fizzle.
Wow. And you know what? That's a great, I think as Christians, we have not always been intentional in the stuff we're doing. We do a lot of spray gospel, as I call
Hmm.
it, which is we kind of just throw something out there and then we don't do anything with it. Like, and no offense, and if your church does this, please do not send me hate mail. But you do a free concert, but there's no follow up. There's no
Hmm.
intentionality to what's happening, and I really think that's where we struggle.
Rob, you're speaking my language. See, another problem with evangelism, this is why it just drives me nuts. We do these little events. We have an evangelist like me come in. I'll do an evangelism training. Everybody gets fired up. They get all animated. Woohoo! And then what ends up happening? It dies out. They have one bad negative experience. 2 weeks later, they're busy. This is a rhythmic evangelism event that happens every single month. It builds that rhythm in there, and every single day, somebody could invite somebody to a table talk to live missionally. I ask people donate one night to a missional evangelistic night. I'm asking for one night out of the month. I think we could do that. It's pretty simple.
It is, but okay. So I have a question
All
because
right,
Nate,
do it.
here we go. Somebody's listening right now and they're saying, "Yeah, I'd love to do this whole table talk idea, but I don't think I'm qualified." What qualifications to start a table talk do you think they need to have?
Well, I mean, I always, whenever I disciple people, I look for people of faith, right? Are they faithful to God, right? Are they available? Do they have initiative? Are they teachable? And do they have a heart for like? Do they have a heart for Jesus, right? I think if you're willing to be mentored, I can mentor anybody to do this, right? And I also have, really anybody could do this because I actually get a host and a co-host to work together, work in tandem in teams for Table Talk, and then also I published a book last year that kind of lays it out pretty well, has 12 discussion guides in there for you. But there's a lot of tools that can help people do it. So it's just mentorship. So I actually mentor people. I'm kind of on the grassroots of this thing, and man, I should probably talk to you about other ideas I have about
I'd love that.
expanding it. But you know, the possibilities are endless, man. If you have a heart for Jesus, we can work with you. We can do that.
See, and I think that, and by the way, give them your website really quick, and we'll put it in the notes so that people can find it later. But give everybody your website because you just talked about the book that you have.
Mhm. You want me to give it? So it's not. So I'm a
Yeah.
crew missionary. Okay, so I used to do college campus ministry, and now I'm doing something called church movement. So my mission technically is to help churches grow by multiplying with reaching the lost, activate Christians, reach the lost. So church movements, uh, churchmovements.com or .org. I forgot, that sounds terrible. So I'm on a
No,
shared
that's okay.
website. I would say emailing me is probably the best way. I can connect you with all kinds of resources.
Okay.
Um, Nathan.sims@crew.org.
See,
SIMS.
I threw him a curve there, ladies and gentlemen.
I
That was
know.
without any preparation. So
But
I'm really sorry, but
it is churchmovements.com, churchmovements.com. And if you go to the tab, you have to go to connect. It's like annoying. And then you go all the way down to Table Talk. So connect Table Talk. So it's a whole thing. I'm working. Okay. I'm trying to get my own Table Talk website. So if anybody has a web developer, anybody can help me out. I'm not very good on social media, but I'm actually in the frame. I'm trying to build out a website right now. So
so there you go. And I actually do have several that watch the show, so you probably will be getting some messages.
that'll
But
be
man,
great.
it's so cool. Final thoughts. Where do you see Table Talk in 10 years?
Oh, well, man, I'm praying about that because where I see it, I mean, right now I'm going to England in April. I'm be presenting at Oxford University, getting professors over there, potentially going over to Hungary because this is a multicultural, multi-generational. I got youth group kids in Florida doing this in ice cream shops. So like this is this is an outreach that could go anywhere. It's going international, it's going global. So I see Table Talk just expanding and hopefully raising up more leaders to kind of put it in a ministry toolbox to train more people to do it. It's so adaptable. So
It is so cool.
I want to see it everywhere.
Hey man, I'm gonna have you
Yeah.
back. Let's do this again. I'm serious. I want to have you back.
Great.
Let's do. I have an idea, and I shouldn't talk about it on air because then I make you commit to something you don't want to do. I love that. That's the way I do things. But I'd love to do like a table talk on here and do a show
Sure.
about it. I think it'd be awesome. Nate Sims, check him out. You'll find the link in the show notes. Appreciate you, Nate. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks, brother. You're the man.
Social media today is noisy, divided, and too often hostile to Christian values, a place where truth is twisted and faith is often silenced. What if there was a place for believers where you could share your story, grow in your faith, and be encouraged every day? Introducing Acts Social, the #1 Christ-centered social platform built to unite Christians worldwide in truth, hope, and love. Share your faith openly. Discover powerful, uplifting content. Join prayer groups. Encourage others. Find news and events from a biblical worldview all in one place. And do it all free from big tech censorship, invasive tracking, and endless ads. Because the body of Christ was never meant to be scattered. It was meant to be together, every day, everywhere. ActsSocial.com, the fastest growing platform for Christ-centered connection. Join us and be part of something eternal.
Hey, thanks to great folks at Acts Social, ActsSocial.com. You know what? When Kristen and I heard about this, we were so sold by it. In fact, we were so sold by it that we got involved. We're one of the corporate sponsors for Acts Social. If you feel your social media, sometimes you're alone, like it's a desert, Acts Social is a great place to go. Acts Social, ActsSocial.com. We're one of the sponsors. You know, when they told us some of the other ones, we thought this is a good group of people to hang out with. We're with Hobby Lobby, the great folks at Chick-fil-A, Grand Canyon University, and us, which is kind of fun to be a digital outlet, media outlet for them. So it's Acts Social, ActsSocial.com. And when you sign up and they ask for a referral, use ATV or use my name. Either one works great. And final story for today. And my final thoughts, couple things. Final story for today. Do you like super hot food? Taco Bell and Frank's Red Hot has decided to partner together, and they are doing a whole menu of super hot foods. Not my thing. I got to be honest with you. It's just not. I don't know. I don't do well with it. I don't do well with really spicy foods, and I think as I get older now, it's less likely. But hey, it's going to be there. It starts later this week. They're going to be rolling it out at participating Taco Bells. Man, thanks to Nate Sims for being here. Table Talk. You need to be a part of this. Find Nate online or through his website and all the stuff that they're doing. Incredible opportunity to be a missionary in your own community. And I love the idea, by the way, of getting going to coffee and doing it at a place. We got a great place here in my town. I would think it would be an awesome place to do something like that. Man, where has the time gone? Again, another day in the books. My thanks to the great folks at 7weekscoffee.com. 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order. Get involved with them. They're doing great work. Plus, you can't beat short batch coffee. It's delicious. It's in my Savannah mug for today. We appreciate them. Act Social. Find them at ActsSocial.com. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a guru of sports is going to be with us. He goes by Mr. Holiday. We're going to talk sports and life in general, his Pittsburgh Steelers, and all those kind of fun things. We'll do that tomorrow here on The Break. We'll talk to you then. Have a great day. Go out and enjoy your day. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been The Morning Break.